welcome everyone to this week's Tuesday talk in Scottish Learning Disability Week 2021 on Tuesday the 11th of May. And today we have Michael McEwan with us in his regular Tuesday talk slot, but at a different time. Special time, Michael.
Yeah.
And today, Michael, you're going to talk to us about relationships, aren't you, and the importance of relationships.
Yeah, why relationships are important.
Okay, excellent. Well, I will leave you to it and leave you on your own.
Right, okay.
I'm gonna go in. I'll come back at the end, Michael. So look forward to hearing what you're going to talk to us about.
Hello, hi. Thanks, Keith. Hello, if anybody's watching this, my name is Michael. Obviously, I'm here every month on a Tuesday talk, speaking about different subjects. And because this week is Learning Disability Week, and it was my turn to do our Tuesday talks, I thought, well, it would make more sense if I did a Tuesday talk about relationships. So every year every year we have what they call Scottish Learning Disability Week, and it's ran by the 10th to the 16th of May, and it's highlighting different issues, different themes. This year's theme is on relationships, and I'm going to tell you why I feel relationships are very important. But I'm just going to run through the week for you. So today is Tuesday, and they are talking about sex on Learning Disability Week. Tomorrow they are talking about challenges. What challenges you may have having relationships. On Thursday, it's about family. On Friday, it's romance. So that could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or even if you're married, husband or wife. Saturday, it's your social life. And Sunday, it is self-care. Now, if you want more information on the week, all you have to do is go to the SCLD website. That's the Scottish Commission for Learning Disabilities at www.scld.org.uk, and they've got a list of different events on for the week. But I'm going to speak to you today about relationships. And if you want to comment, you can do that below or ask any questions or whatever. So when we speak about relationships, you automatically think, oh, have you got a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or are you married? But there's more to relationships than that. That I've wrote down some relationships that I've got here with likes of Keith and Aliska and Cole, that we are work colleagues, so that we've got a work relationship going. So it could be with your next door neighbour, it could be with a member of your community. As I said, it could be a member of your work. So I'm self-employed, so I've got different work relationships with different people all over Scotland, and mainly down in England as well. And the work that we do with Keith, with no barriers, no barriers, no walls, no labels, no walls. Sorry. We have relationships with people from all over the world, and that's good to see. And also you get relationships with your family, so that could be your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your auntie, or your uncle, or different cousins as well. But relationships are very important to have when you build up that rapport, I would say, with different people. And it helps your confidence as well, you might have heard me speaking about confidence a lot before, but confidence is a word that I use in a day-to-day basis. So when it comes to helping people with a disability, so and also having a relationship, whether it's romantic, romance, or just a friend's relationship, everyone is entitled to it because it is a human right for everybody to have a relationship. And so I think it's a very important theme for this Learning Disability Week. It's important that we speak about the relationships as well. So there's Amanda saying hi Amanda, and yeah, a few people are saying hello. So if sorry, if Keith can put up the leaflet that I sent to him about my the life I want produced. I don't know if Keith can. Yep. So I'm just going to speak about that leaflet as well. So basically, the life I want, me gonna workshop yesterday at day one of Learning Disability Week. And they were people with learning disabilities, and they were talking about how important it is to have relationships, whether it's romance or as a friend or a member of the family. And I'm part of that life I want as well. And I don't know if you can see that leaflet there, but there's information there that that they could be parents with a learning disability, have a child or brother. I've heard of stories in the past that people with learning disability, they become parents, and the local authority takes away their child because they don't think that they're up to the kind of job of looking after their child. And we know that's a lot of nonsense, basically. So this is like the life I want leaflet that's produced. And on the bottom of the leaflet, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can. But if I can just read the statistic out for you, it's on the bottom of the leaflet. It says, "Did you know that 70% of the general public live as part of a couple?" But for people with learning disabilities in Scotland, it's only 0.4%, and that research was carried out by the Scottish Commission for Learning Disabilities. So there you go. So it's 0.4% people with learning disabilities that is in a relationship. And I suppose no matter what we speak about, and I think you saw a kind of like pattern here where I've done my Tuesday talks over the last year. It's about the imbalance of fairness and equality in the community when it comes to employment, or when it comes to like social like the work that we do with Stay Update Scotland, to have the choice and control about what you want to do. And this is not any different. My own experience now, I have a relationship. I've been going out with my partner for 10 years, and it's sweet. It's good. We got on well together. Well, hopefully after 10 years, we got on well together, and we built up a nice relationship where we understand each other. Now, when I was first speaking to my partner, I was a bit apprehensive about telling her about I was disabled, because 9 times out of 10, people were getting well and then as soon as they say that you've got a learning disability, well, they just want to be your friend, and that's not right, kind of thing, you know. Disability is only a label. We should look past the disability and look at their qualities and the gifts that they can bring to the relationship and all that. So I suppose, and then before that, I'd done a few kind of like online dating, and this was years ago, and I met somebody that we were going to meet, but I said to the person, I would like to be honest with you because I've got a disability. And then when I said that I've got a disability, the opinion changed. They said, well, okay, can we be friends? Whereas before that, she was willing to meet up with me for like a date and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as I mentioned the D word, disability, she wanted to be my friend. Now, I think that's shocking for people to think that in this day and age. I always say in my artistic talks and whatever I do, disability is only a label. As I say earlier on, look beyond the disability, look at the person. A couple of years ago, yep. So thanks for your message. A couple of years ago, as I said, I was doing kind of like online dating, and people was, you know, as soon as I mentioned the word disability, they kind of put them off in a way. And as I always say that, you know, we should look beyond the disability, look at the person, look at the gifts that we can bring to the relationship as well. And it's the same as when I met my partner 10 years ago, and I was up front with her to say that I was I had a disability, and to be honest, she didn't really care. Not, I'm not saying she doesn't care. She does care, but she said, Michael, that's not. There's more to you than your disability, and you know, I think this is why I wanted to do this Tuesday talks to kind of like highlight this kind of issue, to make people more aware that there's more to people than their disability. It's the same as, you know, when I do work with Keith and Alaska and Control, they we work together as a kind of like working relationship, but we don't say, well, Michael can't do that because he's got a disability. We want to get away from the kind of stigma that's out there towards it. And I think that if you ask me the question now, I think that it happens more and more times in relationships. I mean, you just have to look at the percentage of people. As I say, 70% of the general public is in living as part of a couple. But for people with learning disabilities, it's 0.4%. It's in relationships as well with a learning disability, and we've got to change that, and we've got to change people's attitudes towards things like that as well, because just because you haven't got just because you've got a disability doesn't mean to say you haven't got any feelings for anybody, whether it's romance or you want to be the pal or whatever. We all have feelings, so why shouldn't we be treated any differently from the next person? And I suppose that's a good thing that SLD is doing, the Learning Disability Week this year, to highlight the issues, and also every day during the week, as I said, they're talking about different issues. Might be, you know, as I said, together highlighting sex. And I'm not, don't worry, I'm not going to go into too much detail on the subject, but people don't really get it because you've got a learning disability, that you can't have sex. As I said, disability is only a label. Forget that you're disabled as well. And the other thing as well is automatically people think that, well, Michael's disabled, his girlfriend, what 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 disability has your girlfriend got? And that's not the case, because my girlfriend is not got any kind of disabilities whatsoever. So people's got this assumption that because you've got a learning disability, you should go out with somebody with a learning disability, or maybe if you're in a wheelchair, you should automatically go out with somebody in a wheelchair. Now, me and you and whoever else is watching this knows that's a lot of nonsense. You can go out with whoever you want. You can go out with a girl. You can go out with a boy. You can be gay. You can be, every kind of like characteristic as well. So we want to get those messages across to the wider public. Maybe the people watching this, maybe I'm preaching to the converted here, but even if we can have one person outside the kind of disability bubble would say, well, yeah, that's right, Michael can go out with anybody that he wants. And as soon as we get that message out there and across, the better for everyone to kind of like understand as well. And by having a job as well, okay, you can fall in love with somebody that you work beside. That's a common thing nowadays. But for me, relationships started when I was actually, my physically first job was at the Scottish Commission for Learning Disabilities. Now, I was working with Keith, I was working with other people right away. I kind of built relationships up that way, and it helped my confidence as well, because you get invited to nights out, Christmas is nights out, you get invited to people's birthday parties, and that's what it should be about. So the relationship is more than the romance side as well. There's another side to it as well, kind of like friendship and all that, and building pals as well, because through that I got to build a relationship with some of my pals that I work with, and to this day, well, up until lockdown, we went out and about to different places, whether it can be nightclubs or pubs, or just for meals, or just for somebody's house, just to, keep them company, just to chew their fat, as they say, to speak about things in general. But I think that for me, the relationship is an important theme for this year's Learning Disability Week, because family is important to me, friends is important to me, the people that I work with, as like Keith, Alistair up in Aberdeen, William Ray up in Aberdeen as well. It's important that we can build these relationships up there, but people shouldn't stop you because that you've got a learning disability. As I said earlier on, you can fall in love with whoever you want. It doesn't have to be somebody with a learning disability. I'm not saying you should never go out with people with people with learning disabilities. That's not what I'm saying. Because when I was at school, I went out with a person with a learning disability. And then the other thing as well is my partner's quite older than me. And I was scared to tell my mum and dad about I've met a girl, she's older than me, and guess what? She's not got a learning disability. And I was getting worried about that. But guess what? My mum and dad didn't really, well, I was going to say they didn't care, but they said that Lorna's like you were happy. Lorna, you and Lorraine, like my girlfriend, was happy together. That's all it matters. And that's what it should be about. Like learning relationship matter in all walks of life. Like I've known people to get married with a learning disability. I've known people to have children as well, but it's preaching that message to the people outside the bubble, because we're only human. It's a human right to have a relationship with somebody, whether it's friendship or romance or whatever. But we shouldn't stop people from having relationships. We should encourage people to have relationship. Don't stop them, and don't put a barrier in the way, because life. You might have heard me talking about this before, but life is full of barriers for disabled people in terms of work, in terms of social care, like going out and about, but in terms of romance as well. And we want to encourage people, because at the end of the day, we all one community. I mean, disabled people, that's only a label at the end of the day. It could be worse. I could have, I am a disabled person in my forehead, but that's on the label. We're all people at the end of the day, and we've all got feelings for one each other, whether you fall in love with somebody in your work, or whether you fall in love with somebody like you stay, or whatever. As I said, me and my partner has been staying kind of like off and on. Like I do go back to my mum and dad's house as well, but we stay together. And we have fun together. Like we go out places for meals. Well, back in the day when everything was opened, and sometimes it's good not to wear that kind of like disability label or learning disability label, or people with a mental health issue. At the end of the day, we're all people, we're all human, we all have emotions. But please, if you're watching this, don't take that away from disabled people, especially like support workers and support providers, taking it away. I mean, I was talking early on this year in my Tuesday talks about stay up late, and I think one of the things was if you were out in a night out and you saw a girl that you liked and you wanted to speak to them, but your support worker took them away early. Well, that's not right, because you're out for a night out, and B, you wanted to speak to that girl, but C, it was up to your support worker to say, right, we've not got time to speak to the woman or the girl or whatever, it's time to go. Like you're taking away people's human rights and people's dignity to go and speak to the person. And I'm saying a pub, but it could happen, a nightclub, it could happen at the bus stop, for other reason, it could happen anywhere in life. But all we're saying as during this Learning Disability Week is do not take the right away from people with a disability. We've got the right, like everybody else, to have fun, freedom, and different relationships as well. So that's what my learning disability talk was about this month, features in relationships. And if you haven't been along to any of the events, I would advise you to go to one of the events. in fact, all the events are on Zoom, obviously, because we're still in this pandemic. But also Saturday night we're doing a kind of stay up late social event. So where we've got bands and DJs to perform. And I suppose that what we want from a stay up late point of view is we want people to build relationships at that, kind of like friendships as well. So if you want more details on that, Keith kindly put up the leaflet. So if you want the Zoom link, it begins at 7 o'clock. That's the lineup there, and where we have DJs and different bands on. And if you want the Zoom link, you can email us at stayuplatescotland@gmail.com. That's stayuplatescotland@gmail.com. And I think the thing I would finish on was we done a Stay Up Late event last year. I think it was March last year when lockdown happened, and where we invited different people from all different areas of Scotland. And by the end of the night, they all knew each other and they wanted to add people on Facebook. And that's what you would like to see from a Stay Up Late point of view. But again, going back to the relationships, it's about building relationships up with the people, because at the beginning of the night, they didn't know anybody. But by the end of the night, they knew half of the people that was there. And that was a good success story for Stay Up Late. Not only for me as chair of Stay Up Late, to highlight the issues that people faces, like going out and about, but also to highlight the need that, we need to build more friendships in today's society. And that was good to highlight that. So as I said, if you want to come along to the Stay Up Late event on Saturday, you can do as well. Just a quick plug now for Alistair and Keith's webinar Wednesday. I don't know if Keith wants to do it himself, but tomorrow I'm back on as a guest on webinar Wednesday with Alistair and Keith, and I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully that you enjoyed my talk this month, and I'll be back next month with another subject to speak about. Oops.
There we are. Yep. Thanks. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, that was very interesting. Tomorrow's discussion is on a very similar theme, but it's a discussion with quite a few people who are coming on. I think there's 6 or 7 of us on altogether, talking about relationships and talking about what we think about relationships and why relationships matter to us all. And that's at 11 o'clock. And if you're watching Michael live on his Tuesday talk just now, then just come back to the same place that you're at, because it's on the same channels. It's on the In Control Scotland Facebook, YouTube channels, YouTube channel and Facebook page, and on Citizen Network TV as well. So feel free to come along and join in that discussion with us tomorrow. It's 11 to 11:45.
Yeah.
And everybody was very privileged there, Michael, because they got the first glimpse of the updated flyer for this Saturday's music DJ event. So, and as you've said, if anybody wants it, then they can just email the Stay Up Late Scotland Gmail address. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Keith.
Yeah. Have you got any more Learning Disability Week events you're going to?
I'm going to one in about half an hour. I think it starts at 4:30. Yeah. I can't remember the guy's second name. Dave Hinsberg, I think he is.
All right, okay. You're going to that talk, are you?
Yeah.
Is Jamie saying he came to the last gig, I think, and then here's Craig saying thank you, Michael. So
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the talk today is a part of this guy goes, "Oh, he's a motivational speaker, but he's speaking about that, like sex and and all that." So that begins at 4:30 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So last question before we close today. What does it say on your T-shirt today?
It's I can't really remember, but yeah.
I can't see it properly. Because we've got your name in the way.
If I stand up,
right. Okay. So it's about right. Okay.
It's about
life is how you drive it, or something like that. It says.
Yeah.
Life is where you drive it. It says. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was related to Learning Disability Week or something. No. That's just a different.
No.
Okay. Thanks, Michael. We'll see you. We'll see you on Tuesday Talk. We'll see you tomorrow on Webinar Wednesday, but we'll also see you on Tuesday Talk next month.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.